This is the Uptick Network Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Penny stock news and interviews from the microcap world. Public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world. With your host, Jasyn Blair.
Today on Stock Day, we have a very special guest. He is a returning guest. He is Angelo DeRosa. He is the chairman for Sterling Consolidated Corporation. They are trading on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol STCC. Angelo, welcome back to the show.
Good afternoon. Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure to have you on, Angelo. You are always welcome on this show. The Sterling Consolidated Corporation, they are a supplier of hydraulic and pneumatic seals. Angelo, why don't you give us a little update from the last time you've been on and tell our listeners where you guys are at.
Well, the last time we were on, it was, I think, back in early January. We were having a quiet year last year, but I don't know what woke up the economy in January, but it exploded.
That's for sure.
And some of the products we have on the shelf, we ran out of, and we've been scrambling ever since to reload. But we had an outstanding January. In fact, it was the second highest January shipments that we have ever had, and we had a nice decent profit for the month of January. It's carrying over into February, but February being a short month, it's not as high as I wanted it to be. But in the 2 months, we're over $1 million in shipments, which is pretty much unprecedented for us at Sterling. Our net profit is six figures. We broke over $100,000 net profit, which we haven't had in a while, and we're very happy about that. I did a comparison from last year to this year for January and February.
And how did those go?
Well, I'll just give you an insight. We increased sales by about $100,000. That's shipments, by the way.
Wow.
We increased shipments by over $100,000 over the 2-month period. But the best part about it is we cut from a net income of only $21,000. We showed a profit of over $160,000 for the first 2 months of this year.
Wow, that's incredible.
And in addition to that, we cut $83,000 out of our operating expenses over that same period.
So that's just going to add to the bottom line.
Oh, well, that's a part of that bottom line that I've already read, excuse me. But we are seeing very positive signs. I also printed out a report that we have close to $1 million in open orders right now as of last night, which was the last day of the month. So we're sitting with about $1 million worth of open orders between now and probably the next 60 days. We'll be shipping that out. So that's another good sign.
Absolutely.
One of the other things I printed out that I didn't even know I had is a new customers report. And that since January 2nd, we've pulled in 23 new customers.
That's incredible.
Well, none of them are large, which is to my liking. I'm not a believer in having one account carry 25% or 50% of my business. We take pride in having 3,800 accounts, all within, let's say, the $10,000 to $100,000 range. That's what we look for. We don't look for someone to come and say they're going to buy $1 million worth of holdings with us overnight, and then we end up taking.
Is that an average per order, or is that an average per year?
No, that's the average annual sales.
Okay.
The average order has gone up. The average order we used to do within the $35 to $50 range are now our average orders averaging about $175. So that's increased drastically too. So we're happy about that. We're not getting all these $35, $40, $10, $15 orders. They're all, everybody who seems to be buying say, oh, I don't need 10 pieces or 20 pieces. They need 150, 200 pieces, and they're willing to stock, which is good for us.
That is great.
That's the financials. And these are right out of the machine as of about 10 o'clock this morning.
Hot off the printers, as they say in the print business.
Hot off the print.
So it's safe to say that you're hitting 2017 off and running, just like the market is right now.
Exactly. I just hope it keeps going, because it's a nice feeling to sit here and tell you all this stuff. Plus, we got a few bucks in the bank, which helps, and we're actually paying our bills even better than we have a year ago, which is very pleasing to me.
Excellent. So how are your financials looking as far as toxic debt goes?
Are actually right. The one I'm looking at right now, it's some of the best numbers I've seen in a long time. Ever since we've gone public, this is the first time I've seen what I wanted to see. High out the door, high profitability. Our margin of profit actually has increased. We've gone from a 38% profit, we're up to almost 50% gross profit, which is unusual for our industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy about that too. Yeah, we've done cost cutting in the overhead, your operating expenses, though we've also, our vendors have also dropped some of their pricing, even though some of them come back with 40% price increases for one of our compounds called nitrile. We were able to see, generally speaking, a little bit of a reduction in our actual costs from our overseas vendors. So I'm happy about that too. Hopefully we can continue this all the way through to the end of the year.
Absolutely. My guest again today is Angelo DeRosa. He is the chairman for Sterling Consolidated Corporation. They're trading on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol STCC. Now, Angelo, what is your company's focus going to be, finishing off 2017?
Between now and the end of the year, we have our sights set on one acquisition, which is the basic principle why we went public. We're going to be looking at him this week, and my sales manager is going to visit him next week. He's local here in New Jersey. It's a company that unfortunately lost one of their principals, and the other principal just wants to sell. So we're going to go after him pretty heavily, and hopefully we can do that between now and the year end, get that under our books. But that's our principal goal for acquisitions this year. The other thing is we've been really contacting all of our customers through a telephone. My sales manager has spent the last 2 months just telephoning everybody. How you doing? What's going on? Can we supply you parts again? What are we missing? Blah, blah, blah. And that seems to be helping quite a bit too.
Mm-hmm.
People are coming back. We didn't lose them. They just basically forgot about us, and they're starting to come back too.
I mean, it's not the sexiest business that you're in, but
No.
keeping in touch with your previous customers is definitely a great way to regenerate sales and revenue.
Well, my philosophy there, about 2 months ago, I have a sales manager who's been with me more than a couple of years, like ever since I started the company. He's gone out, and we went over this, and they said, look, we can increase sales 20% by just letting everybody know we're still in business.
Mm-hmm.
Come calls, and that's basically what he's done, and he's really written some nice orders because of it. We're almost like a commodity type of item now. It used to be where you had to do a lot of engineering, OEM work, and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like they can go down to their local bearing house or Motion Industries or Bearings Incorporated and buy basically the same product we have. You can go to Home Depot and buy these products now, which was never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the competition that we're looking at. So we got to fight it a little bit differently. So we're going after them. We're going after everybody that we've done business with, and we think we can pick up that 20% that I'm looking for.
Excellent. That's exciting news. Again, my guest today is Angelo DeRosa. He is the chairman for Sterling Consolidated Corporation. They're trading on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol STCC. Now, I know we're not a political show, and I don't want to get necessarily into politics, but when it bleeds into, the business industry, it's something that we definitely should touch up upon. Senator Paul Ryan has started an initiative to propose a border achievement tax. What do you feel that this will do to, businesses in the United States?
What it'll do is there's going to be some people who are going to fall by the wayside because of it. I can tell you, most businesses should be able to sustain it, but my understanding of it, I did some research on it Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a tax on imported goods. The biggest part of it is that imported goods are going to be taxed,
mm-hmm.
and no matter what the goods are, and it could be food, it could be oil, anything, automobiles, whatever is imported it's not going to be a direct tax as much as you're not going to be able to expense the product you purchase off your cost of goods sold.
Mm-hmm.
And my understanding is, and correct me, I don't know, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is that we're not going to be able to say we buy a product for $1 and sell it for $2, expense the $1, it'll be $2 pure profit.
Mm-hmm.
In retrospect to that, the government is saying, well, we're only going to tax you 15 to 20% of your profit.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I've got a lot of work to do on it. I've got to have a meeting with our accountants, find out what they know about it, and we're going to go from there. But it's an interesting new tax that they're coming down with that I think everybody who has a business should take a good, careful look at and voice their opinion to their local congressman and senator about the tax. I'm I'm writing to my congressmen, both congressmen that are in the area here, and to try and sit down with them and tell them, look, I'm opposed to the tax. I don't think it should pass. Find some other way of reforming the tax structure. But don't punish just importers.
Right. I mean, America's business does need the import, business, in order to be able to supply, their, processes, whether, like you said.
Yeah, but not only that, but we supply, I can use my company as an example. We supply an inexpensive, I don't like to use the word cheap. I supply an inexpensive product that goes into virtually anything and everything in the way of sealing a hydraulic or a gas.
Oh, yeah.
Or I should say a fluid or a gas. And if you take my products, because we're going to be in the same boat as everybody else, let's say we have to increase our prices 25%.
Right, just to compensate.
Doesn't sound like much, but if you take right across the board, bananas go from 44 cents a pound to 94 cents a pound. That hurts a lot of people who look at it and say, well, gee, I can't afford that this week. Well, looking at bottles, and I can talk about a squirter bottle because that has an O-ring in it. That O-ring goes from 30 cents a 100 to, let's say, 90 cents, 60 cents, or 70 cents a 100. Doesn't sound like much, does it? But you add that to the cost of the bottle, get the polyethylene and the straw and everything else involved. Now that squirter bottle of window washer stuff goes from maybe $2.99 or $3.99 to be as much as $4.99 or $5.99. And it doesn't sound like much, but you do this on every product that we buy as an American. Your pocketbook's going to be not only dented, it's going to be drained.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that's necessary. I really don't. I think that's not being fair to the American person, the American public.
Absolutely.
That's just my opinion.
And a well-founded one as well. My guest again today is Angelo DeRosa. He is the chairman for Sterling Consolidated Corporation. They're trading on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol STCC. Now, Angelo, we like to leave the last part of our segment for you to go over anything that we might not have been able to touch upon at the beginning part of this episode. Is there anything else you'd like to get out to our listeners before we wrap up today?
Basically, no. I think we covered pretty much everything. I'm really pleased to be here to tell them about the success we've had the last couple of months, and hope I can continue doing this for the next 10 months and have a really good year. I personally think it's going to happen because there are a lot of changes coming down, and I think a lot of people see it. I know the stock market's gone crazy, but I see activity that I didn't see last year. I can tell you, if leading on that, I would say yes. There's a lot more activity on people buying that didn't buy last year at all, are now buying jibs and drabs, and they're picking up. I see that across the board. A couple of our big OEMs, they're saying the same thing. They're busy as anything, which I think is a good sign.
It's an excellent sign. Absolutely.
I really think the economy is going to take off, and I hope we're part of it. I know we should be, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
For our listeners who want to find out more information on Sterling Consolidated Corporation, you can visit their website by going to www.sterlingconsolidated.com. Currently, they're trading at about 7 cents a share. Again, Angelo, it's been a pleasure to have you on today. We want to check back with you again in a couple months just to see how well the trend is going for 2017 for Sterling Consolidated.
I'll keep pushing. Trust me. I'll keep going at it. I'm not letting up. I put the old saying is you put the pedal to the metal. I'm going with all burners and afterburners right now. Thank you for having me.
The following program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire LLC, which is responsible for the following content. The opinions and information provided on today's show are those of the guests and of those of the respective companies they represent, and does not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of this station. Uptick Network encourages all listeners of the show to do their own due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that'll work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of today's show may have paid to appear on the show and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Network.